Hello my gorgeous makeup loving friends, I hope you are having a fantastic day and a great start to your weekend. If you don't know me, my name is Teresa and I love all things makeup, beauty and skincare, to the point that every weekend, well I say every weekend, but most weekends, I like to hang out with you guys and talk about the new makeup releases that have come out that are somewhat of interest. I said most weekends in the sense that I know I haven't been around for the last couple of weeks. There have been stuff going on. I'm not going to get into it, but I acknowledge it. I'm very sorry I didn't update you, but everything's fine. All should be well. But you guys were still tagging me in things and I so appreciate it, and the fact that you didn't give up on me. You are the true troopers. So a massive thank you to everyone who tagged me in content. Your names are being displayed right now. As always, a massive thank you to my YouTube community members. I mean, I could inflate your egos and say that you're great and you're fantastic, and it's hard to know how much of that is true. But if you search within yourself, you'll know the real answer. But friends, we have quite a few things to talk about because obviously, I've been on a little bit of a hiatus, but there's still things that I want to talk about. So for the love of all that is good and beautiful in this world, please grab yourself some sort of a beverage. Have a little guess as to what I have. That's right, it's tea. Yeah, I know. Look, I'm a stereotype. But grab yourself a beverage and we're going to jump straight on into it. The very first thing, when I tell you this is the thing that really brought me back from my hiatus, I was like, I am not feeling makeup. I don't want to do the things. And then Dolly Parton came along and was like, excuse me, let me make you be interested in things again. So this is actually a new line that is coming out from Dolly Parton. It's called Dolly Beauty. I know. Now I was told apparently by somebody that she had a makeup line in the 90s. I don't know. I didn't look it up. That's right. You get absolutely zero professionalism over here, but hey ho, there you go. As part of this new line, the first thing that's launching are these Heaven's Kiss lipstick collection. There's 4 different shades, they're $20 each, and they're all named after songs. So there's Jolene Red, Honey Plum, Rosebud, and Birthday Suit. They're going to be available from August 22nd on their website. And if you go over to their website right now, obviously it isn't launched because they're in the process of launching, but you can put yourself down. You can subscribe yourself to the newsletter and to be told when this is coming out. I love that there's like little rhinestones. I think that's amazing. And I also talk about the price, $20. $20 for a lipstick that has rhinestones, which is obviously going to increase like the cost of the components. There's like a little imprinting, etc. Now lipsticks aren't wildly expensive to make, but at the same time we're seeing drugstores increasing their prices of lipsticks to like $16. And here comes Dolly doing a really cool looking lipsticks and a small collection. I quite appreciate it for $20. I'm really here for that. I love that it seems that she's keeping the price down. That seems peak Dolly to me. I just love these. These feel like something she would absolutely pick out of her handbag, which is part of what I'm really here for. Obviously, I love the red. I mean, I'm not even going to explain myself here, but I feel like Dolly would wear all of these lipsticks. And of all of the people to come out with a makeup line, I feel like Dolly Parton makes a lot of sense, right? She is a woman who has been around for quite some time, and she has been doing makeup before the rest of us even thought about it. Like, she knows what she is doing. She is glamorous. She is iconic. She is incredible. I love her. As Jen said, Jen Furlow, in my comments, Dolly for president. In which case, yes, I agree. I would love Dolly for president. Not necessarily of Ireland, but of the world. Can we make that happen? I don't know. I think the price of these are fantastic. I think there's a shade here that will suit most people. Obviously, I'd say they're going to extend this. Now, they have said they're going to come out with other things as well. I mean, obviously, it's a makeup line. They're hardly going to leave it at that. But I like this. I like this. Do I necessarily think that I would need all 4 of the shades? Probably not. It's mostly the red that's getting to me. To the best of my knowledge, these are not limited editions. So if you don't grab them on the day, don't worry. Do not panic. I suspect she'll be restocking and you don't have to worry about that. Now, as far as I know, these aren't available at any like major retailers like Sephora, Space NK, Beauty Bay, etc. It seems to just be on their website for now. But I can see this maybe being picked up by a bigger retailer down the road. And quite frankly, the price is looking good. It's good. I'd love to see how these perform. It's rare though that you'll get a bullet lipstick that you're like, ugh, this is just not it. And I trust Dolly. I'm going to say it. I do. Then we have Huda Beauty. Now, Huda has come out with a whole bunch of things, but I'm only going to talk about their 2 newer releases because they've also come out with like mini setting powders, and honest to God, I just don't want to talk about a mini of an item that has been out for a while because I don't care. I'm tired and it's still quite warm. But this is the Easy Blur Silicone Free Smoothing and Pore Minimizing Primer, and it's coming sometime in September. Now, they have this up on Sephora's website at the moment. It's $29 and it's 30 ml. They say that it's non-comedogenic. There's a jelly-like primer and it's meant to give you an airbrushed sort of an effect. And they also say that it controls excess oil. But then at the same time, weirdly, when they're talking about what sort of skin types, they seem to say that it's mostly for like combo. But you would assume that if they're saying that it's going to control oil, that it would be better for oily skin. I don't know. It's apparently going to give you a matte finish and it's going to give you an airbrushed soft focused finish. There's milk thistle extract, which is an antioxidant rich nutrient and it soothes oily skin, and then there's glycerin, which again moisturizes and soothes oily skin. So that's why I'm a little bit confused as to why they're saying that, and this is on Sephora's website, that it's best for dry, combo and normal skin. Really? Not oily? Because based upon what you're saying there, it would make more sense. And particularly when they're saying blurring the appearance of pores and smoothing texture. It's normally people who have oilier skin who have kind of more pronounced pores. It's just kind of what happens when you've oily skin. Like, I don't tend to look for primers that are minimizing my pores because I have dry skin. For me, I feel like this is not going to be something that I'm wildly interested in. I don't dislike the idea of a jelly-like primer, but I mean, it's not exactly innovative. They say that they have clinical results. And look, I'm just going to say this because you know what I'm like. The independent study, how independent was it? Was it independent? Do we know what independent even means here in this context? They did an independent study on 48 people of all genders, skin types and tones. Really? You managed to get all genders, all skin types and all tones in 48 people. Colour me somewhat suspicious there. They said that 100% agreed that the routine minimised the appearance of pores and improved the appearance of their makeup. 98% agreed the primer kept their makeup fresh, and 90% agreed the routine made their skin look airbrushed. Frankly, you know me, I'm going to say take those results with a pinch of salt because I love a good double-blind experiment and it doesn't sound like that's it at all. However, the pictures do look relatively okay. It's not like they're like wildly retouched. Now, they do say that there's no retouching. I'm going to be honest, I'm old enough that I'm like, I don't know how much I believe that. There's enough people out there who are like, no, I'm not using filters, and it's like, I'm not stupid. I can see the filter. They look somewhat believable. I don't know. I'd love to know, like they said all ages, but yet in the pictures here, they don't have that much diversity. They have like one picture of somebody who's a little bit older, but to be fair, her skin looks great and I'd like to see it before and after. Do you know what I mean? With that particular model, it's fine. Like, there's nothing that really does it for me. Obviously, they're kind of promoting it in the case of use this primer, then our new foundation, and then the setting powders, which you can get in minis, which I'm like, okay. And that leads us on to the next bit, which is their new Easy Blur Natural Airbrush Foundation with Niacinamide. It's $37 for 30 ml, and there's 29 shades. Now, I know what you're thinking, 29 shades. Teresa, that doesn't sound awful. Wait till you get to see the shade range. I can't even. I don't even know what's going on. We'll see it in a little bit. I get it. It's this whole thing of like put niacinamide into everything, put skincare into everything. That has been the trend of the last couple of years. Totally grand. I get it. The packaging, I mean, Profusion, is that you? It looks like a Profusion foundation. Nothing wrong with that, but it's nowhere near as luxe as what they've done before. They say that this is a lightweight, medium to buildable coverage formula. I don't know if it's medium to buildable because in other places then it just says medium. So who even knows? They're again saying it's non-comedogenic and ultra blurring, so it's meant to give you a natural finish, which I find interesting because if they're saying to pair this with the aforementioned primer, the previous primer is meant to give you a matte finish. So which is it? Matte or natural? Or is it like a satin? Like, what is it? I suppose maybe matte is natural. It depends on the person. I don't know. 1.5% niacinamide, which of course smooths and refines the look of uneven texture and tone. I mean, yeah, but to use niacinamide, you need to have it in your routine for at least 3 weeks to start seeing any sort of an improvement. So I don't know about that. There's also silica, which is pore blurring, and it results in a natural airbrushed finish. They say that it's blendable and easy to apply. It's just them saying it's available in a range of shades with a seamless filtered finish. Let us talk about that shade range, right? They're saying buildable coverage, that's fine. You can kind of see it. They're showing that you can get up to 3 layers and you're starting to see full coverage where the tattoo is almost covered. Grand, fair enough. To your right, you will see the shade range. Excuse me, but where is the rest of it? I guess they have a range for the lighter skin tones, and then it's like, maybe I'm going to show my age here, but you know when you're like printing off stuff and your printer like runs out of ink and like the very end of the page is just like blank because it skipped it? Is that what happened? What is going on here? I do not get this. For a brand of this level to essentially only have an absolute handful of deeper shades is utterly abysmal. And look, I get the irony of me saying it. When I am the colour of curdled milk, I get it. Here I am with this white privilege, but like, come on, who's working here that's kind of going, yeah, that'll do? It's ridiculous. I do not get it at all. And part of what really gets me as well is that they've tried to show these foundations and kind of shown them in the context of them being worn, but also how they link in with previous foundations. If you look at the fair to light skin tones, they're showing like 9 shades here, or at least 9 different people. They show the Faux Filter Illuminous Matte Concealer, then the Easy Blur Foundation and what will work with it, and then the setting powder and what will work for that. So they're giving you complexion pairings, which is helpful. I don't know about you, I find that helpful. Then we get on to the light to medium skin tones, and they've done the exact same thing, which I don't know about you, but the light to medium looks not that far off of the fair to light. Maybe I'm just a bit whatever. They've done the same thing. They've got the concealer, they've got the Easy Blur Foundation, and they've got their Easy Bake setting powder. And this is where it all falls apart, because I looked everywhere for this. They give you the photographs of the medium to tan skin tones and then the tan to rich skin tones, but they haven't given you that helpful index of how this would link in with previous concealers and with setting powders. And I'm like, it's because you don't have it. Even by not having that, you've shown that you don't care. Like, what is this about? I just can't fathom in this day and age 2024 that this is what we're doing. I cannot get it at all. And I get that like they've a deep shade here, the espresso one, and it looks relatively deep, but I don't know about you guys. I do watch a lot of TikTok. I want to see Gloria try this and Darcy, etc. because I have my reservations on this. I think that there is a whole bunch of shades missing. They could have added in an extra 11 easily. It's the fact that, you know, they're basically repeating a whole bunch of shades when showing it that I kind of can't get over. And I just, yeah, it drives me ever so slightly insane. But I love that we're talking about Huda's lack of diversity, and then we talk about Fenty, and Fenty essentially came onto the scene kind of showing us all how it's done, how to be inclusive. And they have their Fenty Beauty Cheeks Suede Waterproof Powder Blush. This has been kind of like a long time coming because they've had their cream blushes for quite some time, and I feel like this has been needed. There's 4 grams of product for $28. There's 8 blushes in total, but 6 have a matte finish and 2 have a shimmer finish. Now, of the 2 that have a shimmer finish, they're What a Brat and Drama Class. For those of us who are OG Fenty beauty lovers, you might remember that there was like a diamond bomb that was What a Brat, that was pink. I'd love to see how much of an overlap there is with that, because the What a Brat previously did get discontinued. You can't get it anymore. I'm a little bit annoyed that they have the shimmer finish in What a Brat and Drama Class, because they're going to be for deeper skin tones, and I think they could have maybe given a matte and a shimmer version for all of these, to be fair. I think that would have been really, really interesting. But, and I'm going to say this again, I'm going to bring it back to Gloria. I did see her do swatches of nude sticks, which I generally quite like, but oh my god, they looked so ashy on her. So I'm wondering if the rationale of putting like a shimmer into those shades is to stop it from being really ashy, in which case, fair enough. There are 6 shades that are a matte finish. There's Sundress Season, Daiquiri Dip, Baking Cakes, Lollipoppy, Petal Poppin', and Summertime Summertime Wine. They claim that it's a high-performance, waterproof, sweat and humidity-resistant powder. I'm interested in that. I'm going to say it, particularly the humidity-resistant, because Ireland doesn't get like crazy heat, but like when it's the summer, we do get quite a bit of humidity. And I know the summer is almost gone, but I live in hope that it will come back again, but just not be too whatever. They do say that you shouldn't worry about fallout or looking chalky, so I kind of like that. And they have shown it across a diversity of skin tones, so I'm kind of here for that. They look really, really pretty. The Water Brat, I'm going to talk about that one first, because I mean, that does remind me very much of the highlighter, and it does give like a highlightery blush sort of a thing. The purple blush, I mean, that's beautiful. The Drama Class, it looks absolutely stunning on the models. Then Sundress Season, I gotta say, I think that's pretty. I think they could have added a little bit more shimmer in there, although weirdly, this is meant to be one of the matte ones, but in the pan, it almost looks like there's a somewhat satin finish. I'm going to say the same thing with Daiquiri Dip, because it does look like there's a little bit of like a satin finish on there. I love Baking Cakes because that's a very neutral toned blush and they can be quite difficult to get. And I feel like the price isn't bad at all. Lollipoppy, I feel like we've seen these sort of shades a couple of times over. Am I going to get tired of them? Not really. I hope they're not like super, super pigmented and they are like buildable and blendable. There's nothing worse than having a blush that just whacks on colour and then you're panicking trying to diffuse it. I mean, I will say I'm a little bit blush blind, so I can't really talk about that, but like, I'd like it if it is very dispersible. Then Petal Poppin', I mean, that's just a beautiful shade. Let's be real, what else can I say? And then they have Summertime Wine, which I feel is probably closest to their like rum raisin shade that they have in like the cream blushes. They're beautiful, and I again appreciate the fact that yes, it's 8 shades, but they cater for a lot of different skin tones. So I'm really here for that. You can see that they could expand upon that. Again, have that diversity of finishes. This is something that they have needed for quite some time. So I'm really, really glad that they've actually done something on that. So I do want to get it. Like Fenty does, or Fenty is stocked in Boots here. And I wouldn't say no to a trip into a Boots to swatch them and see how blendable they are. But I will say anything I've tried from Fenty recently, I've really enjoyed. Like their Gloss Bomb sticks. I don't want to be like, oh my god, they're amazing. But I'm like, oh, damn. Yeah, I like them. Which is troubling. Oh my god, this next one. Okay, I'm very excited about this, and I don't think I can be fully objective, right? Because this is the collaboration between Dede Signature and Makeup on Your Radar. If you have watched me for a while, you will know that I talk about Makeup on Your Radar ad nauseum, like emphasis on the nausea. I talk about them so much, but she's such a lovely human being, really lovely, very supportive, kind of essentially what you want to see in the beauty community, and I'm loving that she's getting her time to shine. And this is a collaboration with Dede Signature, and it's the Plume collection. I was sent this in PR. I've already played with it, so I already have kind of formed my own first impressions on it. I do want to play with it a little bit more to get a better sort of an idea of it. However, I've looked at the price point and I am impressed, right? The Plume collection has 4 5-pan 26mm eyeshadow palettes. There's Elegance, Extravagance, Eloquence and Effervescence. Now Effervescence is going to cost a little bit more. It's going to be €22.95 as it's all iridescent multichromes, whereas the other 3 are €16.95 each. But you can bundle them together for €68.95. The pre-sale has already happened, right? That started August 16th. The launch date is August 20th and they're sending them out on the same day. I did receive these in PR. Let me show you the outside box. It's very reflective, very holographic. You're going to see a lot of shimmery shines because I have a million lights on at the moment to hide how bad my skin is. But it looks like this. There's a lot of effort that goes into this. I suspect that 4 5-pan palettes were chosen because essentially Jamie does a lot of traveling. It kind of would make more sense for her, easier storage. These are the palettes. Look how little that is. I love how easy that is to travel around with. This will be great for makeup kits. And actually I did see the fabulous Calvin Brockington using these on his channel there recently, which I was so excited about. I will also have shown you hopefully some pictures of swatches. I'm not going to swatch them right now because I'll just cover myself in shadows, and I will have a video up next week if you guys are interested to see my initial thoughts. This is Extravagance. Very, very pretty. There's something about this that reminds me of like Christmas, and if you do watch my video, you'll hear me say that, because I'm just going to say the same things over and over again. Am I surprised that she's gone for colour? No. Jamie was always going to go for colour, and I appreciate this. This is the palette that has the iridescent multi-chromes. This is Effervescence, right? And I'm going to try and tilt it at a couple of different angles, so you can kind of see, hopefully there, the slightly different shimmers. These, I'm kind of shocked at the price. €22.95 for 5 iridescent multi-got, and they're beautiful. They're really, really pretty. They disperse beautifully. You could have it be a fabulous topper. I mean, I'll tell you about my opinions on that in a little bit. Then there's Elegance, which is arguably my favourite, because there's a green and a blue, and this shade of green, when I tell you, it might be my favourite shade of green that I've ever tried. It's absolutely stunning. And then there is Eloquence, which kind of reminds me of like something that I think I've seen from Dose of Colours back in 5 million years ago. But I do think it's absolutely just so gorgeous. I'm annoyed, and I did say this to Jamie, that she put me on Pure, because I'm like, I've never bought anything from Dede Signature. It's one of the brands that for some reason I just haven't bought anything from. Not because I haven't been interested, but I'm just like, oh, they're from the States, blah 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 blah. And now that I've tried them, damn you, Jamie, you've got me hooked. I'm going to show you some of the pictures that have come from other influencers. So there's Cine Reviews, and she put these pictures up on Instagram, and I do feel like they're really, really good swatches. If you guys want, I'll do a swatching Sundays. I say if you guys want. I'll do it anyways, whether you like it or not, you silly geese. I think this is absolutely stunning. I know that there have been pictures as well from Colourful Indian, who is again over on Instagram, and Macro Makeup, which really show these off so well. As I said, it's hard for me to be objective because I'm extremely fond of Jamie from Makeup on Your Radar. So I'm just really, really glad to see her doing well. I also saw that Robert Welsh, who you guys know I love, not to an unhealthy degree, like a very normal amount of love. He was using that in a recent video where he was talking about the bloody Morphe closure. I'm not even going to get into that, but he was using that, and he was using the palette that I think might be my favourite, which is Elegance, the green blue one. Ugh. Stunning. I'm impressed with the price. I definitely am. I'm just really happy for Jamie. Like, she's one of those people that is such a positive light. She totally deserves all the recognition in the community. Yeah, I'm here for it. So let me know if you did manage to get it in the pre-sale, or if you're just waiting for the launch date. I'm nosy. Then the next thing that we're looking at is Glaminatrix Cosmetics, and this is their Barely Basic palette, retailing for €58.95. It's already available now. Yes, this is a slightly older release, but I wanted to talk about it because I thought it was absolutely stunning. There's 4 sparkly iridescent duochrome toppers, 4 intense metallics, and 12 smooth pigmented mattes. You get magnetic 22.5mm pans. They're vegan and cruelty free, and they of course have a 24-month expiry. I've been on a weird neutral palette kick. Don't even talk to me about it. And Tina, I'm gonna blame you for this. My lovely friend Tina started me off essentially with Glaminatrix Cosmetics, and I have such an unhealthy mindset. I know this. I know everyone's into the underconsumption, and I'm like, oh no, because that's not me. I'm like, more is more is more. I can't help it. It's terrible. It's a disease at this point. But Tina got me into Glaminatrix Cosmetics, and I'm also sentimental, so I kind of like, if I associate a brand with a person, every time I take out a Glaminatrix, I'm like, oh, Tina, which is a nice thing to do. But I did actually order this, and I have it here. I know, I mean, when do we ever have an episode where I actually have 2 of the things on my table? I haven't even swatched these yet. Oh, it's glorious. I love the way it's laid out. It's very Blend Bunny in the fact that they've got their colour columns. Is this basic? Yeah, and absolutely nothing wrong with that. I love that there's like that grungy green in there, those shimmers. I mean, I will also say I'm going to play you some videos of them kind of like swatching or like showing them in different lights, because I feel like that really shows you how this performs. Anything I've ever tried from Glaminatrix Cosmetics in the past, I have just ended up absolutely loving. So as soon as I saw this, I was like, do I need this? No. Do I want it? Yes. And I feel like the price wasn't awful. €58.95. I was impressed by the speed of their delivery. Like, this came from Australia. this palette is more travelled than me. And it arrived pretty darn quickly because I ordered it on the day, maybe the day after their like pre-order, and it was shipped pretty darn quickly. I have had the best experience with Glaminatrix Cosmetics when it comes to their customer care. So for me, I'm all about that. Now, I know that for a lot of people, getting something from Australia is just a no-go, the customs, etc. I totally get it. However, on the flip side, if you're in Australia, there's so little that is made available to you. It is like 9 months after launch date is maybe when something is made available. So I just love that our Australian friends have a really good, really innovative indie brand there that's at their fingertips. So if it isn't as convenient for the rest of us, fair enough. I'm just glad that they have it. And I mean, just the quality, the workmanship, the beautiful kind of work on the palette, like the way that it's presented, I just think it's really good. I feel like the price of €58.95 is very much justified because you are getting quite a bit for that. Like that is a £20 palette. And it's working out at like less than €3 per shade. And considering there's metallics and multichromes in there, I'm not against that. I think it's actually a pretty good price. And that leads me on to the next thing. And do we call this makeup Jesus? I don't know what we call this. It's risen from the dead, and there's part of me that is like, this probably should have stayed dead, right? I'm all for nostalgia. I'm all for seeing Urban Decay come back, but I'm like, the fact that they've brought this back, it's $59, like $59. Can I juxtapose that against Glaminatrix for €58.95? Yes, I can. And I'm gonna have you pondering that for but a moment, because this is their original naked eyeshadow palette. They basically were like, oh, it's back by popular demand in limited quantities. So they're trying to do the FOMO. I know that they're trying to have people compare the original palette with this one, and it doesn't seem that there's any sort of change in formula, nothing. So I'm like, are you literally bringing us back a palette that was around back in like 2016, 2015? Oh my god, I'm feeling old. Like a palette that we haven't seen in like a decade. You haven't changed anything about it. You haven't changed the formula. You haven't updated it. And you have the audacity, the gumption and the gall to ask us to pay $59 for it. Like I get that there's going to be a whole bunch of influencers who are going to take this and be like, oh my god, I'm going to try this compared to my old Urban Decay, if they have it. Or they might be like, oh, let's see what this is like. No, absolutely not. I am not doing that. I have done that in the past. I did that in the past actually with Urban Decay when they did their like revision of the radioactive palette, which was essentially the exact same palette, like let's be 100% real. And I'm like, no, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. And I am not doing that again. I love that they're saying like it's an easily blendable shade, and it's like, dude, that is the absolute minimum. If you're going to charge me $59, you're going to have to have upped your formula. I'm sorry. And I'm also going to say like, yeah, the colour story is fine. It's fine. And I love that one of the things that they said was like, it's often duped. And I'm like, yeah, it's been duped for years. I think even a whole bunch of the dupes have like gone because it's no longer relevant. Why didn't they bring back the Urban Decay Smoky? That was genuinely quite interesting. And I say bring back, not as in bring it back from the past. I mean, I have so many questions about this because they've brought back, you know, the velvety sort of a packaging. So I'm like, did you just have those in the back? Is that what's going on here? So many questions. Why did you not innovate on your formula? Why did you not bring that back? Because if you're trying to bring back 2016 makeup, but without actually augmenting formulas, and you're trying to charge us this much, this is more expensive than when it originally launched. I can't even like the thing that they're trying to say is like, it's limited edition, it's fan favorite, 12 of the best neutral shades. And I'm like, maybe at the time, but there's a million other like neutral eyeshadow palettes that you can get out there that's better. All the shades you'll ever need. No, it's not. Easily blendable shades, long lasting wear. Sure, Jan, sure. And a double-ended brush is included and an in-pack mirror. Really? Really? Like, are those your sales techniques? Because they are flat, they are boring. Like even the swatches. The swatches are the most effing lackluster thing I have seen in my life. And I have lived a very dull life. You know, I'm an academic. We do dull as an everyday experience. Somehow I feel like this is even more boring. than the original palette. And I liked the original palette. I got that it was like boring or whatever, and I liked it. I used it to death. Like, if you look at mine, it was really, really battered. I still have it. There's part of the gold lettering that's like peeling because I've had it for so long. I don't get this. I do not get this. If you're going to bring it back, you have to do something with it. You're going to have to augment it. You're going to have to change up the formula. Why not introduce some of those shimmery shades as more of their like moon dust sort of shadows? Do something like that. I don't get this. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Some things should just stay dead. It's zombie urban decay, and I'm not here for it. This next one then is Covergirl, and it's their Halloween Outlast lip stain, and it's apparently limited edition. You can get some of these on Amazon right now, which I find quite interesting, but they're not on Covergirl's own website. There's 7 shades, they're $11 each. The shades include Zombine, Spider's Web, Spooky Bat, Pumpkin Carving, Extra Witchy, Sweet and Corny, and Fantastic. What a hard one to say. Fantastic. There you go, I said it. The claims that they have are that these are not drying, tight or sticky. They're infused with plant-based acacia tree extract. They're vegan and they're formulated without parabens, talc and mineral oil. I mean, these aren't bad for $11. I'm not against it. Covergirl aren't very accessible here in Ireland, and it's very hard to get like lip colours that are quite interesting. Like I can't even remember the last time I saw a yellow lip colour. No, I can't. I tell a lie. The lime crime ones, you know, the ones that they brought back from the vault, that's what I'm thinking of. Green we see a little bit more of. Klarity Cosmetics recently brought back some greens, like a liquid lipstick, so I'm like, okay. Then the others are a little bit more, not generic, but of the more unusual colours we've kind of seen them in the past. They don't look bad on the lip. Like some of them I'm like, oh, I could see these being used every day. Like the shade Extra Witchy on deeper skin tones. Like, ooh, don't talk to me about that. That is stunning. Fantastic as well. I mean, I'm gonna say it. I feel like a lot of these look superb on deeper skin tones. But for $11, I don't think it's bad at all. The Pumpkin Carving one, again, it does look like there's like a little bit of like a metallic-y sheen to that. I kind of would personally like something that's leaning a little bit more satin to matte, something along those lines, but they're not bad at all. Spider's Web, I like that one. Do I have plump enough lips to carry it off? Absolutely not, but there you go. Spooky Bat, oh my goodness. Again, look at the deeper skin tones and how gorgeous they look on them. Oh, so beautiful. Even the shade Sweet and Corny, that is really, really cool on deeper skin tones. I hope that they're using that to really market this because it looks fabulous. And of course, I'm looking at the shade Zombine, and I know it would look ridiculous on me. I know it, right? I know that deep to my core. There's part of me that's like, I don't hate that. I get that it's metallic, and metallics on me look wild, and not in like a, oh my god, she's so wild, like in a, oh, what is she doing kind of a way. For $11, I don't think that's bad. Weirdly though, when I was on Amazon, they already had some ratings which were 2-star, and I'm like, what is this about? But yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's bad at all. Like it's not the worst sort of a Halloween thing that we've seen. Is it a bit safe and generic? Yeah, but it's not bad at all. Shellwe makeup. I've talked about them before and I am a little bit obsessed with them. I think they're really, really cool. They've done this Somber Garden collaboration with Freya 86. Now, I don't know who Freya 86 is, but you know, to each their own. There's 2 things in the collection, an eyeshadow palette, and you can get them in 2 sizes. There's the full size for $59 and there's the mini size for $29, which I just think is so smart. So smart. I love that they're doing that. And there's also a duo lip mud in the shade Wisteria for $10. This is launching on the 16th of August, 10 AM Central Standard Time. So as you're watching, it's available right now. Let us talk about that glorious eyeshadow palette and some of those shimmers. Look at those shimmers that they've swatched on their hands. By the way, I've taken these pictures from their Instagram and I'm not apologizing. I think they're really beautiful. I just love, they've done this for a while, that they have a full size and then a mini version. I think for people who are as obsessive about makeup as me, having the mini size is just so clever. I think that's just so smart. The other kind of shimmery shade that they have here that has like a multi-chrome thing to it, oh my god, I have intense feelings towards that, and I'm gonna leave it to you to discern from them as to what they are. They look really, really pretty. I like this color story a lot. I like the grays, the muted tones. I think it's super interesting. I mean, the more I see from this brand, and I do have a few things, like I have the little keychain eyeshadow palettes that they have have, which by the way, absolutely adorable. I can't even cope with how adorable they are. I like the quality. Like, I do. I actually think they're pretty darn good. I think they look nice. I'm also going to show you some videos of the swatches because I think when you see them moving, that's really, really interesting to me. I'm kind of here for it. The other thing then that they have, as I said, is this duo lip mud, but they are saying like it's for like the face as well, so you could use it. I don't know why, but they're like, oh, you could use it for your cheeks, and I'm like, who's using that for their cheeks? Although I get that like for contour you want a grey, but like that is grey. I would like to know if that's safe around the eyes because I like that color combo. Mind you, I would like that as a lip, so I'm not against that. And $10, there's something about that that kind of reminds me a little bit of KVD, you know, the duos that they came out with that were like those creamy blushes. But this is a really, really, really interesting color combo, and for $10 I'm not against it. I actually think it's pretty nice. Then we have Dose of Colors, and this is It's Literally Magic Multi-Use Shimmer Stick. $26. There's two shades. There's Stardust, which is a multicolor sparkle, and Icy, which is a white silver sparkle. So here's the thing, right? I didn't have anybody tag me in this. It was my friend Daniela that sent this on to me, and I'm like, how is nobody talking about this? Because I want to show you the video of it on the eyes, because I don't know what's happening to me. I don't know what strange ghoul has taken over my body, but this is just everything to me. This is a multi-use shimmer stick for the eyes, the lips, and the face, and I just think it's so beautiful. It apparently has a hydrating formula. It again is that versatile use. There's a refreshing cooling sensation, which I'm here for. They also have Chondrus crispus powder, which is apparently a nutrient-rich algae with vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. And there's apparently a humectant in there, which is saccharide isomerate, and it's apparently the first ever formula of its kind in the US. And I think the thing that got me was it's made in Italy. If you know about these sort of products, like anything that's like highlighter-esque, like shimmery, if it's coming from Italy, you know it's going to be good. $26. I'm not gonna lie, I've looked at this and I kind of want it. Do I need it? No. Do I think that this is similar to the KVD kind of dazzle sticks? A little bit, but I feel like this might be its more elevated cousin. I hope they come out with more shades of this, and I'm excited for Dose of Colors because I feel like there was a point where they were really, really, really popular, and then they kind of dropped off. They had their collaboration with Trevor Barrett, which I think was really, really good, but people don't really talk about them as much. They were once available on Beauty Bay. You can't get them there anymore. But I like this. I want to talk about the shade Stardust. I feel like that's just really pretty. That's a very pretty shade. Is it going to change your life? Probably not. Wilma's currently sitting there kind of going, this isn't interesting to me. It's a day walker shade. That's fine, Wilma. You can walk out of the room. I appreciate that. But Wilma, between me and you, can you imagine if they did like a grungy olivey green with like goldy sparkles in it? Don't tell me that you wouldn't be interested in that, because I know you. You'd be lying, okay? We all know that. The shade Icy is probably a little bit more interesting to me because it has that sort of like multi-chrome sparkle where there's like a little bit more interest to it that you don't see in Stardust. That's not me saying that I don't think Stardust is pretty, but I feel like this is probably a little bit more versatile. Yeah, I mean, I want these. I don't need them, but I want them. I thought about getting them earlier, but I have a couple of like big costs coming up, so I'm like, no, Tracy, you don't need them. Put it away. It's not limited edition, so you don't have to worry about it. So there you go. We're now on to some sneak peeks, because as I'm filming, which is a Thursday night, I know, I spend Friday editing. This is Nomad Cosmetics. It's their new palette. So they've given a lot of kind of hints on this. It does look like it's going to be Mount Fuji, I guess, because the destination reveal is coming on Friday, August 16th. The color story reveal is Saturday, August 17th. So as you're watching this, you already know what it looks like, but don't worry, I'll talk about it again next week. If I have the wherewithal to film, who knows? My life is a disaster. Let us not discuss this. The launch date is Tuesday, August 20th at around 12:01 AM. So it looked initially when they were kind of showing this with the leaves, which reminds me a little bit of Artitude, because when Artitude came out with their Abscission palette, they gave a PR package that had all these leaves in it. I thought they were going to do a lot of yellows and oranges and reds, and even with their Pantone reveal, there was a little bit of that, which I was like, okay, that's quite interesting. There's also some like blues and purples behind there that they've kind of shown. But today they showed a little bit more, and there's like more kind of like bluey metallic-y shades, which I quite like. It reminds me a little bit of like the Iceland palette, which is a personal favourite of mine, so I'm not against that. I'm excited to see the rest of it. Yeah, I think this is going to look really, really nice. Generally, I just find Nomad do really interesting colour stories. They're really well thought out, and you can tell there's a lot of passion for what they're doing. Then, I don't know what this is, but it's from It's Belle Cosmetics. I am, by the way, an affiliate with the brand. There you go, let's have that out. I do have a code. I think it's Teresa, it's my name, it'll get you money off, blah, blah, blah. But if you've known me for a while, you'll know that I'm looking at this and I'm like, oh, well, excuse me, because just even that top right-hand corner is me. I like this. She's basically just given a hint of this, and I'm going to absolutely butcher this. Kahuna Nuai Hali Kialo Halani Makua. I am so sorry. I should have Googled that to see what it is. But I'll be honest with you, I just don't have the wherewithal. It's Love All You See, Including Yourself, which, by the way, how nice is that? This is an upcoming collaboration collection. I'm very excited. Very excited. I have pretty much everything that It's Belle has done, and I think they're kind of an underhyped brand. And I will say, I only really got into them because of my friend Daniela. Yeah, she was all like, oh, you should get the Rule Breaker palette. And I was like, oh, I don't know. And then it ended up being my absolute, like, one of my favourite palettes. Like, I've hit pan on it. And when you have the collection that I have and you've hit pan on something, that's pretty impressive. So put me down for one. I'm going to want it. Then we have Klarity Cosmetics, and this is a sneak peek into their 18 high coverage concealer shades that are coming soon. They do claim it's also going to pair well with their flawless skin setting powders that they're also going to be launching. These are quite interesting because just based upon what I'm seeing there's quite a cool tone to even the deeper shades there, which I think is really interesting. If you know anything about Klarity Cosmetics, I am, by the way, an affiliate with them. I know, disgusting. There you go. Use my code for money off. Blah, 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 blah. It's Teresa. There you go. Whatever. But they are a POC brand, and I feel like they'll kind of cover the deeper shades pretty well, which is something that has been historically a massive issue across many brands. I'm interested in this. I don't know how long it'll last because I know they've had stuff before, like even with their skincare. I know my friend Janet was saying she really loved their turmeric pads and she used them, but then they discontinued them. We'll see. Klarity does kind of see how things go. Like if they don't sell well, they're like, right, that's it, done. Like they don't tend to have like a major emotional connection, which I think is smart in a business sense. You know, they don't tend to tie themselves to it. I'm interested in this. I'd like to see how much product it is, how much it actually is. My only issue with buying from Klarity is the shipping cost makes my eyes water. Like, I actually feel physically unwell with the shipping cost, and then I have to pay taxes and duties. So as much as I love Klarity and I have most of their stuff, I'm getting to a point where it gets a little bit more tricky for them. I hope that they find an alternative courier that brings down the cost, or at least maybe the taxes and duties are included in that, because it does kind of prevent me a little bit from getting them. And I love their stuff. You guys know I love their stuff. I have most of it, but that is the one thing that kind of stops me. But other than that, I am for sure intrigued. We did have quite a few things to talk about this week. Who would have thought? I mean, to be fair, I haven't done this in like 3 weeks. Am I rusty? I mean, probably. Or is it maybe 4 weeks? Who knows? I do, however, have my favourite comment from my last releases and rants, and I will try to get back into it. This is from my lovely friend, Janet, who is also a YouTube community member. Thank you, Janet, for being fabulous. She said, never tried the brand, but Mitchell can keep the blushes and the fucked up Alaskas. Because remember when he came out with those blushes and they were in those really weird packaging? Yeah, I've had my issues with Mitchell. I'm not even going to go into it, but yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes. I feel like it's been relatively quiet on the releases front, which is why I kind of was like, there's not really much point in me doing these videos, because it's like, it's just going to be me whinging and bitching on, and I wanted to have something that I was at least somewhat interested in. I mean, I know I did whinge and bitch about, you know, Urban Decay Zombie, but like, there's also Dolly Parton's, you know, swings and roundabouts, my friends. But my gorgeous friends, that is it. Thank you so much for watching. Do please like, comment and subscribe. Turn on that notification bell and do please share, because sharing is caring, except of course for STDs, in which case, just wrap it up. Don't be gross. But that's it. That's the end of the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.